Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Truff. This is the Monday after City Group week. Basically, Arsenal played both Girona and City in, I guess, a 4-day span, and was successful in both. And then, as we start the show, I guess 90 minutes ago, the window is closed. So we'll talk about the window real quick. And here we go. And there you go. That's the window report for Arsenal this January 2025. Yeah, that's it. Anybody want to add anything else to that?
I don't think there's much to add to that, really. I didn't. How do I expound on nothing? You know what I mean? Like I can do it. I can waffle for a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. So Arsenal.
I've got my thoughts, but I'll probably get attacked for them.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Not from you. Not from you. No. I know this.
You can. Yeah, you can say whatever you got to say. But yeah. So.
Go ahead.
So Arsenal. We'll get into the football, but the window has just shut, and that's probably the latest news. I know there's probably a lot of people going a little crazy on what Arsenal didn't do. I know Arsenal is being really disciplined financially, and that's why they didn't take on any of the opportunities that were probably put in front of them. I hope that there's a good plan in the summer. I don't have it. I suspect not, because of the way we do our business. It doesn't matter if we plan it out a year in advance, 6 months in advance, 3 months in advance. We still seem to come into that window still not knowing what the other player or the other team wants, and still trying to figure that all out. We'll say hi to a couple of people, and we'll get into that. Anders, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show. As a Leeds fan, Leeds are pretty happy right now. I think they sit, if I recall, 2 points ahead right now. Had a really good weekend for them, 7-0 win. As if they didn't have a good goal difference, they definitely have one now. Mr. Tom joins us as well. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tom. Says hello. Yeah, support Gary and my YouTube endeavors. This is my show. I went away for a couple of days to the West Coast, and I got back this morning, and I just took the day off. I did rewatch the game, so I have my comments on the game itself. Yeah, we'll get into it first, but we'll talk about the Girona match. Arsenal sitting third going into that match, needing a win to secure a third, needing a lot of other teams to fail to maintain that third position. And but Arsenal came in. They lots of subs. They did. I think it was somebody said 8. Is it 6 to 7 subs, or I guess 5 to 6 subs came in. Partey playing right back to me as a sub. That's not legit. Calafiori, Kirill, Jorginho, Moreno, Nweri, and Sterling all started. So Neto in goal started. It seems when you set a goalkeeper on the sidelines too long, they forget where they're allowed to use their hands. And lucky for us, he didn't use his hands outside the box when he tried. It's hard for me to say whose fault that was. That goal, was it only on the goalkeeper, or was it a little bit of the defense and the possession of the ball that put us in a bad situation and put our goalkeeper out to dry a little bit? I don't know. How do you feel about the Girona game?
Well, part of the Girona game for me, I think what bothered me the most is, the rotation was one thing. It was going to happen because, of course, you had the game on Saturday where you played 10 men, people looked tired. And then you just kind of had to. It's going to get me frustrated here when I think about it in a second, but you also had to finish your job in Europe too, and they did. The Neto turnover. I don't remember. It's been almost a week since that, but thank God he didn't touch the ball, because then we'd have been down to 10 men again, and then you would have had the City game. But I felt pretty good about them. I felt really good about all our Champions League games this year, to be honest with you. Like even the 2 draws. Yeah, it's been kind of. I think if I'm not mistaken, we did actually we lost one if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Drew one or drew two.
Drew two. Didn't we lose to Inter Milan? I thought we did.
We lost into Milan, and then we drew to um,
I'm drawing a blank.
Atalanta, I think.
Yes, Atalanta was the first. That was the one where Ray had.
I thought we drew 1-1. We drew 0-0. I thought. So,
but either way, I thought we did really good in Europe as far as the league stages. I actually like the league format. I know some people think it's like the precursor to the Super League, but I also think it's good because you have 8 different opponents. You get to see 8 different teams. You don't have this Real Madrid in this group where they can pick up 9 points in quick 3 games and then just kind of coast their way through. You actually have to put a team out there and then manage your league with that. So I think that's what's special. I tell you what I'd love to see, and I'll get raked over the coals for it. But I think after this round, none of that 2-legged crap. If you finish 3rd in the league, you get the home game, and that's how it should be. And it should be single elimination all the way through. But we do 2 legs in Europe. But overall, I was pretty happy with them finding a way to get the win. Inwari had a beautiful goal in the game. And again, I think we'll talk a little further about him. But overall, I was happy to get the 2-1 win. I think for me, it was just get the job done. Yeah. However you got to do it, get the job done. We're fortunate to get the offsides and the goal taken off, probably, but he was offside. So,
yep. Yeah, no, we lost 1, we drew 1, we won 6. So
there we go. Okay,
better than I thought. Yeah.
Overall, we'll get into it.
No, I think we managed it really well. I would have liked probably. Yeah, I think we managed it really well because I think we got to see where he played some games there. Probably need to see him play more based on what we've seen from him. The goalkeeper situation really showed up, a little bit. Whatever we did for the goalkeeper, that whole situation, I think, was poor because we saw the results of that. But no, I think we played it well. I mean, I don't know if we got a lucky draw, but you take what you get, and we were able to see it through and get, as you said, six wins. We'll take that. 3rd place, we'll take that. Already into the final 16, we'll take in that. So yeah, no, I think it as you said, I think it works well. You don't have this like retaliation type feel. You play everybody once. You have one time to shine. You don't have to like hold back and wait for the next the return fixture. You just go 100% today, and if you can win it, you take the win, and that's what happened. Real Madrid and City struggled, right? Because teams come out to play them. They're not like, well, we have to go back home or we have to go to City, so we have we have another chance to get at this. No, they just went at them and played them for that first 90 and took it to heart. I suspect people won't be so high in the format if and when their 3rd place team loses to a team that finishes 23rd. Yes and no. Well, right now, that 23rd team, the 22nd team right now is City, right? All right. And so they're 22nd for a reason. I don't think they're 22nd because, they've done a really well in the window. We'll get in. That's another thing that might be a difference. But, they're not playing that well as it is. So I think it is what it is. And everybody has an opportunity to get better in the window. So to say City did well in the window and that's why they're going to look better, that's on you as a club because everybody has an opportunity to do a similar thing. So you'll have an opportunity to get better. Yep. Tiger and Guna joins us. Welcome to the show from Australia. Yeah, welcome. Yeah. And I think it's done right. Everybody plays everybody once. You get a one chance, you can take your risks and then go from there. And that's what teams did. Think about all those teams that were playing City and Real Madrid, probably dreading it, and then coming out on the other end with better than the expected performances. Right. So I think it's opened it up a little bit. Almost have like a knockout in that first round in terms of like there's no like coming back. You just go out there and you play, and if you can get the win, you take it. If you take the loss, you were probably going to lose anyways. So why not try to win?
Well, that's the same thing, Gary, as far as like the collegiate playoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the expansion. There or people are already trying to fix it. Not that people have tried to fix this format, but there's not enough data. You haven't gone through enough evolutions of it to see how it really turns out. So, like 5 years from now, we might say this is a crap system. We
Sure.
might say, hey, this is really good. But I think so far on face value,
Yeah.
I think it required it created more managerial uh, musical chairs than I
Mm.
think you normally would look. Because think about the times we're in the Europa League. We usually had the group locked up by match week 4, right? And then you could just play kids the last 2 weeks. Now, hey man, that's fifth or sixth week might be the difference between getting in the top 8 position or having to play in this opening round playoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, I get everybody doesn't play everybody once, but you do play the pods, right?
yeah,
So instead of like playing one team in pod one, now you're playing two teams, right? So it does spread around your if we're gonna if we're okay with the way that they set it up before, there shouldn't be an issue now. So in terms of the pod system, in terms of there's always going to be a top team and a second and third and a fourth level team depending on how they rank them. So for me, I think it works out. It works out for everybody. And if your team has got the depth, then you have no issues, right? Everybody says that depth is why the big teams should be able to succeed, and then we're finding out that the big teams don't have the depth, right? So there you go. Yeah, you know what? It's going to be hard to say in an 8 game, league essentially that City will not be able to get enough points to make it to the top 24. I think that's asking a lot for them to fail. They just needed to win the last game, and they even struggled to do that. I mean, they went down in that game, did come back, but everybody has their chance. Miss Melina joins us. Welcome to the show. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot you know what, no matter what they did, somebody's going to hate it. So I kind of feel like, you know what, everybody has to play the same thing. I don't like the fact that it's extra games and everybody will probably see more of the problem than
but
actual
I'd
structure.
say the one thing they did right, Gary. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Mm.
what the one thing they did right is if you failed to advance in the Champions League, you're done. There is no dropping down to Europa League. There is no dropping down to Conference League.
Yeah.
You're done. And I think that's what should have happened a lot of these times.
Yeah. I didn't really you get double chances to succeed when others don't. So, yeah. Yeah, no, I think mhm. Yeah. Yeah, no, before Champions League, before Europe, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Look at City case. Well, we'll see what happens there. Anything else on Girona? I think in the Champions League we did what we needed to do. I think did we? I believe. Uh, believe that we made the necessary. Did we make the necessary subs to close it out, or did we, no? No, we just finished off the game pretty much at halftime. So they went ahead in the 28th minute. We got a penalty. I think that was from a Sterling. Sterling got tackled in the box, and then even where scores, right? So that was all in the first half, and in the second half we just saw it out. They once again Arsenal sat back a little bit, and I hate when we do that. I hate when we don't push, and continue to push, and then give the other team opportunities. And they did have opportunities. That goal they scores would have knocked us, I think, may have knocked it out of the top 8 if I recall. But doesn't matter. We've made it through, and we're taking it. I think, yeah. If we dropped 2 points, oh no, if we dropped 2 points, we would have finished 5th. So not bad, but I think you want to get one of the lower seeds, even though City is 22nd. So and we're still lucky that's not us. So we're good there. So Juventus and Feyenoord, I think, and is it PSG and Benfica? I think are the options. I believe so. We should be all right to make it to the next one. All right, all right, all right, all right. I think that's Girona. I'll have to did that. We've
Girona.
already talked about the window. You guys, if you caught the 5 seconds of that, you got everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Now we move on to the last game Arsenal played. Going into that, it was City at
Yep.
home. It was time for us to redeem ourselves from the last time we played them. They were happy to get the draw. We were sad to get the draw. I think as every game will be going from here on out. Arsenal lose, Arsenal's out the league chase. So came into this one, and Arsenal did the job. Um, for me, they did the job. Yes, I think it would have been nice to have taken more bigger lead going into halftime. We do give ourselves chances. I think uh, the Havertz miss basically for me showed why we need a striker or we need a better forward or something to get better higher percentage or to finish the higher percentage opportunities we do get. Uh, I know everybody's going to say he did redeem himself, but I'm just going to say those chances will come and those chances will, as we've seen, go. And that's why we need another player to fill that hole, to answer that call. That's the kind of guy. I'll start with that for now. Spencer, Arsenal 5, City 1. But it was, tale of two halves. The two halves look totally different. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was the good news from yesterday, right? The 5-1 win and 5 different goal scorers, 2 kids. I tell you what, I was thinking of that game yesterday. I was watching it. The high press restored the first goal, and then we high pressed them again and should have scored a second, but Martinelli was offside. But either way, when that second one went in that was chalked offside, I was like, okay, you got them on the ropes now. They're flustered. That midfield, man, I want to say this. Like, everybody talks about the pretty pass and like what about this game do you love the most? And there's times when Thomas Partey's in that midfield and they find a way to break through that press and they find that through ball that gets to the front line. To me, like, that's one of the most beautiful moments in this game when you're watching that play itself. When a team's high pressing, you find a way to get out of it. It's just – and Thomas Partey was just poetry out there yesterday. Him and Rice, they both just bossed it. Odegaard played really well too. The Havertz miss was bad. Whatever. I mean, what are you gonna do? He redeemed himself. The Partey. I mean, like the goal. Look, Holland scores the goal to go 1-1, and then you've got right off the pass. I think it was Foden who passed it, and
Yep.
Partey picks it off,
Yep.
and just who cares if it's deflection in the back of the net.
Yeah.
How many of those shots were outside of the box? Like we
All
talking.
3 of our Partey shots this year, all goals have all been from outside the box. So, he's doing what he needs to do there. We had at least 2 outside the box because Inweri also was outside the box. So, we are looking good, taking shots, getting close to the 18. Got Italy Jet joins us. Welcome to the show, Italy Jet. I believe he's a West Ham fan. Not a good day for West Ham. They do take a lead, but they were not able to finish against City. No, sorry, Chelsea today. Yeah, yep, yep. No, so no. Like I said, that first half, as you said, the offsides. Martinelli. I don't think he'd be able to get onside and be able to still get in that same position. I think it was just one of those things where he just took the chance and it didn't work out for him. But yeah, no, the miss from Havertz is unacceptable from a striker, from anybody. Anybody, you have to put the ball on target at the least. You cannot miss the goal. I don't care who you are. People are saying he thought to spend. You think long, you think wrong, kind of thing. That's why he misses it. But in reality, that shot's got to go before the defense has a chance to respond anyway. So you shouldn't be spending too much time on the ball, standing right where he was. I mean, he doesn't know if somebody's coming up from behind him or not. That ball's got to go. Too much time and thought long, thought wrong, and went with probably the worst attempt going for that near post as opposed to the far post, I believe, where the goalkeeper's off the line. So if he gets it past the goalkeeper, it's in. So he has to do better there, and that's why we want somebody else. So yeah. We've got Gary Craven joining us. Welcome to the show, Gary. Martinelli down the middle. Oh, that kind of tinkering you do if you're mid-table or lower. Well, Arteta said that he has, that was years ago. It seems now that he had wanted to test out Martinelli in the middle, and I think with the fact that now we have decided not to bring in anyone. Trossard for me isn't a legitimate center forward the way you want to use Havertz. Martinelli, I think, will do more close to that job based on his technique and his talent level that he brings. So I don't know why we wouldn't try to test him out. We've got Inwary that we definitely can bring on and play on the right side for now, and the left side could be I don't know, Trossard, whatever. I just think we need to try something else. I don't think we can just live on Havertz for 90 minutes every game. That's the thing I don't get. Can't do that. But I do, yeah. He could have chipped the goalkeeper for sure, or just ram it into that right post. He would have probably got there before the defender gets down. But he had chances there. But I don't know. What do you think about at least this comment here, Martinelli, or somebody else?
You don't have a better striker on your team right now.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we can't just depend that Kai's going to get it done 90 minutes every game for the rest of the season.
I agree, but the club told you otherwise.
Give me an answer. Why Kai isn't available now? What do we do? Because
Butler.
That's why as a manager you have to have that thought.
Butler Odedeji. I think Odedeji. He said I can't pronounce that name worth anything. I know a guy with that name too. So that's even worse. That's what my answer is. Butler Odedeji.
We didn't loan him out.
No.
Okay.
I say that's my answer because you've hit gold with Inwary and you've hit gold with Miles Lewis Skelly. The kid's 22. Play him. I mean that's my answer to it, and that's where my frustration with the window comes in because Kai's your 9 right now. Obviously, you probably want someone else in the summer to complement, but at the bare minimum, you didn't even bring him back up.
Yep.
That's where my issue is.
Yep.
Okay, you could argue Sterling's here. I know people have their feelings because I'm looking from pure manpower perspective here, right? I think we've got 5 active forwards right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
That's not good enough.
Yep.
I'm not saying you had to just go blow money because I look at Matthias Tal, who came in for like $60 million with an option to buy or whatever. He might score 2 goals this year, if we're being honest. I don't really know. Like, he's 19 years old. Does he even get in their front 3 right now?
Some people say he should.
Maybe, but I mean that's what
because
I don't think you should have done something like that.
Who can deceive him, like just based on potential?
Who are we talking about?
Tell. If you put Tell on I believe he can play right. You can put Son in at the middle.
For me, man, it would have been Watkins, and that would have been the guy I would have paid. I would have paid 60, 70 for it.
60 is a number, and I think we offered 40, which 40 is a legitimate number if you think he is not because of the age. That's the only reason why you wouldn't want to pay the 60 is because of the age.
I would have paid it. And here's why. Harry Kane went for 100.
Yeah.
And I'm not the thing about Watkins, man, and this is between Watkins and Tell, is Tell might be a great player one day. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But Watkins could have popped in.
Yep.
Obviously not Wednesday, but you could pop in the next time you play.
Yeah, I would have taken the risk because you're talking about a window that could help you win a couple of trophies, if not 3, maybe even 3, based on if you're able to hit lightning on a bottle, and even if you don't, you still have monies to bring in that young striker that you want to anyways. So, if it's Sesko, go ahead. If you want to go crazy and get Gyökeres, you do that. I don't. But I feel like we're like holding out hope that we'll be able to get Isak in the summer, and I think that's a big. That's even crazier than anything else we want to do based on the numbers they're talking. Like, say they don't get Champions League, is it going to
Yeah.
be less than 120? No. So so I feel like you have to take a risk once in a while, especially in a window where you can't keep finishing second. You need to hit and this is one where guess what? Nobody's expecting us to make that run, and we can make that run, right? Yeah, I mean
He's
we got
25 years old though.
who is
Isak.
yeah.
I
So
pay that 120.
is he? Was he 3 years younger than
Oh, 4 years
Watkins?
younger than Watkins.
Oh, 4 years. Okay,
So
I thought Watkins was 28, but okay. Did you say?
I,
I
I,
don't. I just feel like we're not going to take a striker and make them into an Isak or a Watkins at this point. So we need a finished product. So you have to pay for that.
yeah.
Um, so
I mean, for me, you failed to
yeah,
provide backup. So when Havertz gets a knock,
yeah.
what are you gonna do then? I mean, I guess you could put
It's
Trossard
not
in
even
there.
a knock. We've got Lonzo in the house. Not even a knock. It is a what if he's just having a bad day, which has happened.
Yeah,
You have to be able to have an answer. You can't just say he'll just work it out. That's just silly when you
yeah,
should have depth for a reason, right? If he's having a bad day, missing sitters and getting a yellow card and all this kind of stuff, then you have to make a change. You can't just say, "All right, we'll just stick with it." It's not the shots that it's for me. It's the opportunities that he gets and opportunities that he doesn't take. And sometimes he's not even getting the opportunity because he's not a striker. I mean, today I saw it. Partey made at least two passes, which I think would be considered striker passes for strikers to go and split the defenders and go one on one with the goalkeeper. He's not able to get on those balls, and the opportunity just goes away. He does a bad pass from Partey, right? Because he gets intercepted by the defender. Another different type of a striker gets on the end of those balls, and then we're talking about an opportunity. Ball comes. I mean, he did well once today where he held the ball up with four defenders around him.
yeah.
But time and time again, when he does that, he's usually attacking the defender instead of the damn ball. So, yeah, it's definitely not a good window. Not a good window at all.
No, so this is what I would say
Have a
though.
good night, Mr. Tom. Yeah.
Take your time. If you're not gonna bring anybody in, then I better see Nathan Butler or Deji. Better see him playing some time.
Well, that's what we said about Nweri, and guess what? We didn't see him until
Saka got
Saka was out, which was like, what? He's supposed to play behind your captain. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'll say
Yeah.
this much, and I agree with you on that. Like, if we come out of this season and we've got, let's just say we already know Inweri and Scully are going to kick on and be really good. We know that. Like the trend is in the right direction. Skelly, like, so good. Dude, like, if you can get Nathan Butler or Deji to come in and get in the rotation, I mean, we still need to go out and go get someone in the summer, but it'd be nice to know we have another asset.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to at this point. I think the league is done. Like, I don't see Liverpool dropping. I just don't. The amount of games with that, I don't see us doing a perfect stretch where
Yep.
they need to have like four.
Okay, so here's the thing, because I was listening to his Liverpool fan talk today. He's like, if we can win 9 games out of the next 15 that we have, and maybe we draw 3 and we lose 3, we'll win the league. That's what he's thinking. That gets them to 82 points or 86 points, I think it is. If Arsenal wins all of their games here out there, I think they get 92. So if you're thinking 86 for the win, Arsenal can't lose 2 matches for sure. Can't drop 6 points if that's the number to reach. Now we've shown we can do that. The only problem is we had better depth, and maybe we'll have the depth in April and May. Right? Maybe Saka will come back and be okay to run through the season. We can go on a nice run to see out the season, right? But we got to get to that. We got to get to March and April. That's going to be the tough part. So yeah. So I mean, one game at a time for us, but it is achievable that we can go and do that stuff. I just would like to have better numbers in our favor. As you said,
Oh yeah.
five attackers isn't good at all.
I mean, you should be at least two deep at every position,
Yeah.
and and look, you could even say like I say two deep at every position. You could have one center back that could play either side, whatever. But the fact that you have no real coverage for Havertz outside of maybe Trossard, because
Yeah,
Trossard could play in the
and
middle.
it's not even coverage. It's just we have a player that can play
There's
in
lack
a
of the
center
problem
forward
you got.
role a position, but is not really going to play the same way. So you're playing a totally different way. Yeah, well, Sterling coming in, I don't know why we did that. I mean, I don't know. You see, my thing is if bringing in Sterling is one reason why we couldn't take a loan in a potential loan in the league in the Premier League, bad. If Neto was the reason why we couldn't take a loan in the Premier League, bad.
That
Two,
one's even worse. Neto is because
yeah,
I mean that's probably why he couldn't take a loan in the league.
and in either case, we got a goalkeeper who we can't play. Well, now I guess if we're out of the cup come Wednesday, I guess it don't matter. He can
That's the
play in
one that
anything after
sucks,
then.
man.
So, but otherwise, yeah. And Sterling is like a third and fourth option. It seems coming off the bench sometimes. Or second or third option coming off the bench. So,
I mean,
uh,
I think I'm gonna speak for you on this one too, Gary. I don't think either you or I, want Sterling to fail here. Like we
yeah,
want him to be value added at this point, but it's hard. Like I'm watching him during the Girona game, and he misses the penalty, and I'm not going to dig him out for that one. But at the same time, like I felt like he was just getting in his head, and like he's in this weird mental block space right now, where there's a talented player there, but
and he's not going to get that with us because we need him to be a lot like if Saka was healthy and Wary was second off the bench and
yeah,
Sterling then you're fine where he stands. He has to come in and be the second play off the bench, the
yeah,
first play off the bench for whatever position, and he has to perform. And that's not where he is right now, as you said, mentally. And we're not winning the league if we don't. Like I said, it's one game at a time. I can't go much more than that. We're not because from one week to the next, our lineup and our depth will change, and that will make a difference. And Arteta's going to have to, you know, figure out
yeah.
how to win games without certain players. Yeah. Gary, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we can find something to talk about, even good, bad, or ugly. And this is one of those, I guess, kind of ugly, bad situations. And Director John, thanks for joining us. Leeds Talk, we had it early. It was about the same content that we had for the Arsenal window. So if you want to catch that in the first minute or so, we talked about the Arsenal window, and it's similar to our Leeds Talk. So yeah. Yep. Not a good window for us. We did absolutely nothing when we needed attackers, similar to that Leicester season when we needed attackers and we didn't do anything there, and it came back to haunt us. Bargath, thanks for joining us. Yeah. We definitely need a player for we need players for deep championship run, Champions League run, for a deep run in the league as well. All right,
But
thanks for joining us,
see,
Gary.
that's the
Thanks for
key
the
to
subscription.
take care of Gary.
Yeah.
That's the key, though, what Bargass said right there. We need another player for a deep Champions League run. I don't even really care about the league at this point. That right there, we play a style that's pretty favorable in Europe. Look at how many goals we've given up in the league in Europe. It was 3 goals, right? I think Alexa was listening. But anyway, so that's where this one really sucks. Because not even if you brought in a guy that could supplant Havertz as the 9, the fact that you didn't even give him a guy that says, hey, man, yeah, it's the 70th minute. It's just not working. We're going to throw this guy on there. Or, hey, we're playing Southampton this weekend. Sit it down. We got a big game against, I don't know, pick a Spanish team during the week. Like that's where, and, Arteta sat there and said, hey, I need help.
Yeah. So there's two. So you telling the media you need help, the team not being able to get across the line. What does that say about you?
If I was Arteta, I would question the ambition of the club.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of things that those kind of moments sit there where you see big time people leave jobs like Parcells and all these guys that it just doesn't work out, and if they're not getting the support, they roll out. And we can have our briefs with Arteta, and like I said, I don't want to turn this into a horror show like of complaining about Arsenal, because I'm not going to do that. But I also sit there, and I think that's where I'm mostly upset, is the fact that you have a legitimate shot to make a deep Champions League run. And who knows? You know what? You probably aren't good enough to beat Real Madrid. You don't have the firepower. Who cares?
Yeah.
But at least get there, get to that semifinal game, and play the game and see what happens. And then say, hey, you know what? Real Madrid beat us 2-1 in 2 legs. We need to add X, Y, and Z to the squad to get over the hump next time. Like, I think you're failing. Now, they may have big plans in the summer, and I don't want to.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the thing. I don't want, like, we can't be thinking to the summer. We got, like, this team has 14 Premier League games to go.
Yep.
At least 2 Champions Leagues to go. 1 EFL game at least to go. And you should be trying to win all of them. And we're not putting ourselves in a good position to do that. So for me, you're kind of like handcuffing yourself and then going, and then like we're supposed to go, it's all right. I'm like, why are we doing that, right?
Fair none, this is a failure of a window. It's not even a question. Like, it's a 0. It absolutely is. I mean, the only good thing that came out of this window was we didn't get rid of anybody.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, we'll just give you Zinchenko, and you're like, okay, well now like, Skelly's going to go down. You have no left backs or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like that. At least we didn't give any players away. So I'll give it maybe a 2 now. But at the same time, you didn't do yourself any justice. And that's why I want to see Nathan Butler or DG. That's all I want to see. And how old is Max Dowling? 15? Can he play? Like, I'm being serious. So I make these jokes.
There's something about the age as to, I believe, why he cannot. Even though in where he did play when he did come in and play. So maybe at the end of the season, maybe we'll give him an opportunity.
That's where I come at. Is like, all right, cool. If you're not going to go buy anybody, Halen, you're up. And I say that in all jokes aside. This is the time where
he's 14, so I don't even think. I think in where he was 15.
I think you have to be 15. I we can look that up. But again, my argument now becomes like, all right, you've got these youth talents, utilize them, and bare minimum, look at it like this. Let's just say Skelly ends up being a midfielder in this team next year. Now you could go spend that 120 million on Isak, right? Like,
see, that's you are assuming that Skelly will be considered for the midfield, and he won't be like, well, we have a legitimate left back. Let's stick with him at left back, even though, because you know what? Do we have a left back right now? Like right now, do you have a better left back than Skelly?
God, that's such a loaded question.
No, right now, do we have a better player?
I would say at this moment right now, Skelly's the best left back on this
okay, so the next question is there a player with the potential to be a better left back than he is right now?
Calafiori.
All right. Now, Calafiori is a center back, so are we saying that we're going to play him out of position as well?
Well, so Tierney's is going to be gone in the summer. Zinchenko's going to be gone in the summer probably. So
now you're saying we don't even have the depth behind our center backs because
I'm okay with MLS being a left back because
that's what I'm saying. So that's why I kind of feel like Arteta will look at that situation and go, "We have a left back. If Calafiori is backing up Saliba, is it Saliba or Gabriel? Then he may go. Maybe he may just do that. All right.
Yeah.
Got Zanzi in the house. Yes. Yes, with the Miles Lewis Skelly with the Harland celebration. Everybody loved that. Everybody loved it. So let's get into it. So I'm going to just go through. We finish up the first half a little bit here. You talked about. I think the midfield was really good. for different reasons. I think Partey for me was was the man of the match for me because he did everything.
Oh yeah.
I think Erdegaard did really well with the press, and if there's any sort of defensive organization, he was great going forward. His passing not up to snuff yet for me. Rice, I never actually. I don't think of him as more of a progressor with the ball, and so everything else he does, there's a lot of energy there, right? And so he's there, and he gets us the, I think both opportunities to score in the first half are come off of his defense on a player who gets the ball, is on the ball a little too long than he can handle, and we're able to get pressure on them. And I believe he was both in both situations, at least one of them. He's the one that did that. So I kind of felt like, you know what, that midfield, we people talked about winning the midfield. We won the midfield. I mean, if they're gonna, I know a lot of people said Erdegaard did well. If you want to split it between Erdegaard and Partey, I'm fine with that. But definitely for me, Partey for me was the
Rice was so good
was
too.
Partey, but for me, Partey stood out the most as far as doing everything that he needs to do, intercepting balls, scoring goals, progressing the ball up the pitch. I mean, everything. I don't think they were, typically we always find something bad about his game. Not much negative in his game. Whereas for me, there was some things for Erdegaard and Rice that I think we can improve on for sure. But Partey, I think, played really, really well. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Partey, like I said to you earlier, when he found a way to, when they got that pass to him and he would just turn it up and just, he intercepted. I mean, I got to look at the who scored stats on that, but
yeah.
I think for me, my favorite play of the game is the Nweri goal.
Yeah.
And it's not Nweri's shot, it's the ball from Rice. He flips the field and throws it right on his leg.
Yeah, you can see the build up there, and you can see
So good.
Gabriel kind of lays the ball off to Rice, who just puts it on a dime to Inweri, and voila, there you go. Really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
Good from him there. Did Rice get multiple? Did he get
He got two assists.
two assists, right? Because he got one assist to Kai as well. So I think it.
Oh,
No,
Martinelli.
he didn't. No, he didn't. That was Gabriel. But yeah, no, he definitely got that assist to. Oh, he got the. I think he got. Did he get the assist to? The assist to
Skelly.
to Skelly. Yeah, I think that might have been the one. The pass. There was a lot of interchanging going on there, sir. But yeah, so I like that midfield. Good. Two goals, two assists from the midfield, and defensively solid. They got nothing. Bernardo Silva, Kovacic, nothing. And Foden, nothing. Savino, a little bit. Marmouche, a little bit. Like nothing really. They got against us in this game. And that's a lot of that's due to the midfield. So yeah. No, I am. And we'll talk about each of the individual goals, but as a whole, you've got Skelly sealing the game with the third goal, and Weary basically shutting the door on any thought of a comeback. Of course, it was late in the game, but still, and Weary shot basically said, "Bye bye." The door is shut. You get nothing, and you'll like it. But yeah, it was good to see the youngsters get goals, and Arsenal did really well. That second half, we I guess it kind of woke up once I think they got their goal, and then after that it was all she wrote. We responded quickly, and then a couple minutes later we responded again. So is it 56th minute we scored the Partey goal, and then like 6 minutes later we scored the next goal. We like I said, that the pressing from Erdegaard is something I had missed when he wasn't there, but it definitely helped. It doesn't always put pressure on them right away, but when he turns it up, then we see the balls come right back to us. And then once in a while, we will turn that ball over, as we did against City early, deep in their half, and then bye bye. We definitely able to turn on the ball and go the other way quickly. We just need to, be a little bit more clinical. Yeah, I saw that the Nweri goal, it was like 36 or 38 passes before the shot. 37 passes before the shot. Very, very good build up. We go and the ball went from the back line up to the side, back again, and then yeah, and then they kind of were just teasing them, waiting for the opening to come, and then voila, boom, pass to Nweri, and they gave him all the space and time he needed, and voila, good. My screen keeps cutting out, so I don't know if you can still hear me and see me and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, so I don't know. It's just on. Maybe it's just. Hopefully, it's just on my side. But yeah, that second half, we once they scored, I think we then said no, 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 no. Let's finish this thing off, and we did a really good job at that. A really good job at that. Yeah. So yeah, that I think Partey makes the pass to Martinelli, and then he gets the ball out to Kai, and it's like he doesn't think about it; he just takes the shot,
Yeah.
scores. Right. Totally different from the shot earlier in the game. But yeah, no, there. I mean, Bernardo Silva should have gotten at least the one yellow. Didn't get any. Didn't even get a foul. I think, and a lot of times ran over Erdogan early in the game. Nothing was given. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, there was. I think. I don't think the referee was completely shocking. Because I feel like he let everybody play. But there definitely was moments where they let them get away with some stuff that.
Yeah. No, letting them play is fine, but then
The
like
Trossard thing when he kicked through.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
was-
So, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna we win the game 5-1, and we're complaining about the refs because guess what? We see the same thing in those
Yeah.
1-0 games, and then everybody's like, "Well, you should overcome that." Come on, man.
Yeah. No, I it could have been a lot worse. But the
You'd be happy to know that Foden was 0 in the game.
yeah, he was
No
not very.
shots. No shots.
He definitely cries to the refs.
And he did nothing. We just we kind of shut him down.
He didn't want to take on Partey, Rice, any of those guys.
Yeah.
No, I think
What ref isn't against Arsenal, right? Either a United fan, Liverpool fan, City fan, it seems, Manchester fan. Yeah.
the one that made me, so we give up the goal, and then all of a sudden we started to not rest on our laurels anymore, and we decided to press through, and we just pressed through the rest of
And
the
that's
game.
the thing, right? Why does it take that to press the button? Why don't we just press the button and go, like Arteta just go, what are you guys doing? Stop falling asleep. Let's
I think
go.
this team's problem is they miss too many chances.
Yeah, but at some point you gotta take some. That's why you need a leadership to go. Yes, we just missed an opportunity, but guess what? You're gonna get another one, and you're gonna put it in, right?
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna put it in for me, right? And the player's like, "What? You're putting the next one in, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm putting the next one in," and then you move on from there. That's the leadership we're missing. Like that, when things aren't going right, somebody's got to go. No, no, no. We got this, right? Help! I'll show you the way. If it's not you, it's me. But we're gonna get an opportunity, and you're gonna put it away because that's what you're on the pitch for. So yeah, no, maybe it's animals barking on Spencer's side, but yeah, no, all in all, that second half very good from us, and we utilized our bench and got a lot out of the bench as well. Got to rest some players. I mean, let's see. As far as the subs, let me remember the subs here, but got around. Did we not make a sub until the 84th minute? Is that right?
Yeah. It was a late going. And that's the other problem with having a short bench.
Yeah. But you're up 3-1 at home against City, with 30 minutes to go. You can make a sub before the 75th minute. You know what I mean?
I was okay with how the subs went down, and the only reason I say that is City is so explosive.
Yeah, but you know what? Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's just I was okay with it in this game on its own because they're so explosive at any time Holland can get a goal. Like I think the commentator was discussing it about, Holland's only had 2 touches so far in this game. Yeah, but they was like, yeah, but the third touch could be a goal.
Yeah.
Whereas, so there's just that for me, like the one that was probably going to come off was I think I would have taken Scully off and probably thrown Calafiore on. Maybe you could have taken Rice off and put
But
Jorginho,
if you're
something like
concerned
that.
about your defense, then you don't take Skelly off. That's the thing. So you got to make up your mind which one it is. If you're saying defensively solid, you want to maintain that. Then Calafiore coming on right now for me is not the answer.
Well, it's about rotation, right?
No, but I'm just saying that's what you're saying. You're bringing him on for a particular reason, and for me, isn't it. That reason is the reason why you don't bring him on. Because if we're gonna bring on, for example, in Weary, maybe to close out the game. We know that can work, right?
Yeah.
All right. So for me, that's kind of like for me the subs have to. There's a reason behind the subs as well.
Well, I
Um,
was worried about Timber and Odegaard. That's who I was more worried about in the game because they had the yellow cards.
mm, mm,
And I think if we go back to the group chat, I brought that up.
mm.
And my thought process was that is like, yeah, bring Onweri on for Odegaard, and then maybe pull off however you're going to figure out the Timber situation. Because the last thing I was thinking, I was like, somebody's going to pick up a second yellow here, and we're going to be missing a body come next, on Wednesday.
True.
Because that was my thought process going forward. Because Timber picked up a foul pretty early in the game for a yellow card. Odegaard was for dissent, which I
Hmm.
think he had reasons for his actions because he was flipping out about some of the calls, and it was
Hmm.
really close to I think the time where I think Bernardo had kicked at Trossard. It was around that
Yeah. No. The
sequence of play.
Bernardo, they made a tackle on us. Nothing was given. We barely touched them, and we got called. And that's when it's like, you know what? It was too close together. Where you're not calling it the same game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Rosie joins us. Welcome to the show, Rosie. Check out the links. I'm on my way to try to get to 300. I know Gary Craven did us sign up today. Thank you for that. And I believe this is Holiday Lights VA. That is one of Spencer's channels. Check it out.
yeah, I have a few.
Um, all right, so cool. Yeah, no, I. It's weird now that I look back and think about it. Like if you're doing the subs for a particular reason, when you do that. But when we're up 4-1 with 76 minutes, subs should be coming in soon.
Yeah,
Should be ready to go in soon after that. It took another almost 9-10 minutes before we got a sub in. Whereas now, if you bring in Calafiore, you're up 4-1. You give Timber maybe an extra, 5-10 minutes off as opposed to just 3. So
Sterling's another one too. If you bring him on early, and I bring this up for this reason. Hey, this is this team that didn't want you anymore. They sold you to Chelsea. They sold
yeah,
you to they sold you to a top 6 rival. That tells you what they think of you.
yep,
So, and then that top 6 rival loaned you out to their rival. You know what I mean? So, like that, there's that aspect
yep.
of the mentality of it. But look, five players put the ball in the back of the net. Not half the team, but I was happy last night. Like I was on cloud nine. We watched all the highlights and shared a lot of good videos going around. Made some memes about Holland staying humble, and Roy Jennings and Boovy made some fun of them a little bit. But I enjoyed it yesterday, and that's why today sucked. But yesterday was so good, and I think you take away from it. You can sit there and say City didn't have Rodri. Cool. Arsenal didn't have Saka. Ortega played. Ederson didn't. Who cares? They had that coming, and you know, I think it's probably. I've been really following this club pretty regularly for about 6 years now. I think that ranks in my top 5 wins of all time where I've seen them win the game. As far as memorable, Bournemouth, the win that the Nelson goal that sits up there,
Hmm.
and then this one sits up there that I can think of right now. That the FA Cup and stuff like that. But this one, there was something about this one, with the 2 young kids
Yeah,
scoring that just made it even more special.
yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that as one of a top one. I guess I kind of also look at the FA Cup win and one of a couple of the game that week running up to the FA Cup finals where we I think we either played Liverpool and City in that week, and we were able to do really well in that run. So yeah. But as Tiger Guna says here, stay humble, eh? Yeah, and I think we made sure that he'll never say those what out of those words again. Out of those singing. Who put the ball on the City net? Very nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I was alive for
I was
89
3,
Anfield, but I was let's see, 89 Anfield. I would have been in high school in the States, so I didn't probably know much about
years
it.
old.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was in high school, senior year of high school before I go to college. So yeah, not much over here in the States at that point in terms of football that I can remember. Like there's probably ways for me to watch it, but I wasn't in on it at that point. But yeah. No, you watch the '89 match, and you see how that thing ended, and you're like, it don't, it's like all you need is a chip in a chair. All you need is a chance. All you need is a minute and another play down the field, and Arsenal did that. So yeah, so we got to play through all the 90, and right now, the team that's playing through all 90 for me is the Liverpool right now, and that's why they sit where they sit. It's because they play for 90 minutes, and no matter where they are, up or down, they seem to cross the line. Arsenal hasn't done that, and that's why we've struggled to keep pace with them. But yeah. So all in all, very good game, 5-1 win. I mean, yes, City is down a bit, so that's why it's not as big in my eyes. I think, you know, well, if Saka and Rodri played, would that how big a difference would that made? I think we would take it both. I think we would have the benefit there. All
I
right.
think they would have had a stronger midfield. I think
Yeah.
they probably not stronger than what we had, but
Yeah.
Rodri's definitely a better player than
Oh
Kovacic.
no, for sure. But I just kind of felt like Saka. Then you have Saka, and I just felt I don't know and where he can play on the left side, but you know,
Well, you probably would have taken advantage of that mismatch if you'd have had Saka out there,
mm,
because I think they had Nunez playing on the left because that Uzbekistan kid that came out the previous week kind of crapped the bed a little bit. So
yeah,
I think you probably have some more. I think you end up doing. I don't know if you get better than 5-1, but you still win the game in my opinion because you have a guy. Because now that somebody goes to the bench, right?
yeah,
Rossard or Martinelli, whoever, and
yeah,
that now becomes your 70th minute. Now I'm throwing you on there to go run wild. So
yeah,
isn't it wild that Jack Grealish doesn't seem to get any games for them anymore? They paid £100 million for him.
yeah.
It's just again that's the counterpoint with the transfers. Like
Yeah.
sometimes buying
They
stuff
didn't
doesn't
even
always
they didn't
work
even
out.
play Gundogan. So I mean, you think
Yeah,
about it. They bring in they have Grealish, they have Gundogan, and they're like, nah, we don't need you. I mean, I think they only brought in KDB and McAtee, I think, in
yeah.
that game, if I recall. Those only subs they brought in. So, like for me, also like you were talking about, the reason why the subs needed to come in a little bit sooner is because we're going to need to play a really tough match against Newcastle, and if that thing goes into extra time, you're going to wish you had the extra minutes as well on your legs going into extra time there. So, and then after that, like we got to play all 90, 120 minutes, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, and see that like leave everything on that pitch, and then you get then if it's Dubai afterwards, so be it. But you need to, like, we're gonna, as they say, throw the kitchen sink at that game. We need to get a 3-goal win, right? No matter what. That's basically it. 3-goal win. Yeah, if we fail and get only a 2-goal win, then
Yeah.
at least we go to the penalty kicks. But in reality, we're trying to get 3. So first, you got to get the first one, and then second one and the third one, we see where we stand. Um, but I mean, defensively, I think we can keep them at bay. We've done that in most games, right? They don't really get too many chances on us. They did score twice the last time, but
Those were
um,
opportunity goals where
yeah,
they, the ball bounced, like especially the Gordon one. He
yeah,
just right spot, right time. Isak definitely played a little bit better on Odegaard to get that first goal, but
hmm
I mean that's the only one. If
Well,
you
I
were,
mean, yeah, I don't know if that happens again. I mean, if it doesn't end up the same way, I don't know. Like we talk about
Yeah.
Erdegaard's defense, but I don't think it's that type of defense that he's going to play. And so it's a mismatch that we can't get put in again.
I also
Yeah.
want Arteta to just go for it in this game. I really,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
I,
mind
I
winning
can
it. I
live
don't
with
mind
this.
winning it 5-2. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I mean, and I can even live with this. As dumb as this sounds, if
Yeah.
they go out there and they have a go, and they
Mm.
still fall up short, I can live with it.
Yeah.
Just don't
If we get a win and we
take the
don't get
scare.
it fill it
Yeah,
out, then I'm all right with that. But if we don't get a
yeah.
win in the game, that's where I'll be disappointed. Yeah, that nice Seaman to Dixon to Smith to Thomas sequence, very nice. Very nice. And, it just when that ball went back into that far corner, I'm sitting there, just watching. I know they win, but I'm just watching it going, how in the world are they going to score from here? And voila,
It's
bang,
like a
bang, bang,
Disney
bang.
movie almost, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
whole sequence of the '89 team,
yeah,
and it's fun to hear people talk about it that were there
yep.
and that followed it. Whereas, like I mean, I was 3 years old, so yeah, I was watching. No, I was watching like Looney Tunes. What are you talking about here?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
to see that, because you've got the Hillsborough incident, right? So that plays into that year.
hmm,
Uh, there's just so much into that, and it was the last game of the year too.
yeah, yeah,
So I mean, there's a lot of good documentaries of '89. I know there's the
yeah,
movie that everybody kind of rolls their eyes at. I enjoyed Fever Pitch. I liked it.
yep, yep,
Uh, but it's those moments, man. Like I guess
yeah.
anything's possible, but in this day and age, for us to even come back and have a chance with Liverpool, I think unfortunately Mo Salah's going to have to pick up a knock. That
Well,
keeps
it's one thing where you're not gonna win it in one game, but you definitely can lose it in one game. I mean, every time we take a loss, it's a
absolutely
bad thing. So we can't look at it any more than that. One game out from here, and that's for everything we do, because we don't know from one game to the next who's available anyway. So it's going to be a lot of musical chairs in terms of the lineup as we go along. Because at some point, we're going to have to sit people down for form. Arteta doesn't usually do that, and we need to see it. And it's going to be like, why is this guy out? And it should be because they're stepped in practice or whatever it is. And we might be playing Newcastle at a good time, but we might be playing them at the worst time because they might just play. They might be saving all their, taking all these bad performances and basically just saving it up for one good run on Wednesday to at least get one or two goals and then say, can you beat us with that? All right. Because I mean, if they get a goal, you know what they're gonna do. So that's why we have to get the first two goals in the game. Then we'll talk. All right. So defensively, we can do that. Offensively, that's the question. That's the question. You know, I would like to see us go up 3-0, and then maybe they score again, and we have to go to we get the fourth goal, and then go into extra time, and then maybe we win it there. But I don't. We have it in us to get. We can score five on City. I know it's not the same as Newcastle's defense because they're more disciplined and they're more structured in the way they play defense.
yes.
But the fact that they just gave up 4 goals to Bournemouth means that they can be got. So if we look at it as, oh, they're always going to play us well, and I think somebody was saying Joe Linton might not be available, but that's a might. You know, might not. Yeah. So we should. Definitely at the end of the day, we need to get a win. I don't care if it's a 3-1, 2-1, 1-0, whatever. We need to put ourselves in position to win the game, and then
Yeah.
after that, we'll figure out how many goals we need to move on. So,
Yeah, it's one of those games where and look, just Sunday's one of those games. You score 5 goals, people start feeling about themselves. They start
yeah,
feeling confident again.
yeah,
I like the fact that we came in there. You kind of like the fact, regardless of how the window turned out. And I know there's a lot of heartache over that tonight. None of us are happy about how it turned out. But given the fact that you just pumped 5 past City, you got to feel good about going up to Newcastle,
yep,
even though it's not guaranteed and you're already behind the 8 ball. At least we're not coming in here where you think of how bad we feel about going to Wednesday if you'd lost 3-0 to City
yeah,
on Sunday or even drew.
yeah,
So the mentalities, the vibes are good. I know the players are probably, I imagine they probably would have liked someone to come in to help out. But, you know, you've got what you got. And, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
It wouldn't shock me. But again, I'd rather you just go out swinging if you're going to go out.
Zanzi, good description.
You know, if you're down 2-1, pull that left back off or right back off and throw on an extra attacker. Like, let me see you go for it.
No, yeah, we can't like try to defend a not losing. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to try and go for the win, and if you don't get it, then at least you tried. But you need to try for the.
What happened in that first
win.
game? We did like for like changes.
Yeah,
You
and
see
we
a
need to go.
tactical
We need to.
change.
Yeah, we need to go and score
Yeah.
goals, and we're like, no, we're just gonna rest some players. It's like, nah, we need to. Need to try to get a goal. You need to try to get a goal and go back to the Newcastle only down 1, not 2. We didn't do any of that. So yeah, he takes it too safe, even when it's like, no, dude, you're losing. You can't take it safe now. You got to take the risk. You know? Yeah, yeah. No, for those that were at that match, pretty cool. You got to see that. Very cool. Very cool. That is our next match. Like I said, I think Newcastle's been looking poor, and we can just continue that trend for them. We've looked good, and we scored what 7 goals in probably the last game and a half, at least, I think. So why not go in there and try to continue that trend? Actually, the last 2 games, basically 7 goals. So we'll take that. But yeah. Anything else football wise? We were pretty much when Girona. We've gone through the goals from the City match. Very nice. Got into Newcastle. I mean, do we want to go back to the window and see if we have anything else to say on that besides nothing?
I mean, I could say this much, and I don't know, man. Like for me, again, my text with my buddy yesterday was, if you're not gonna, I guess for me at this point, we needed backup. If you weren't gonna get an actual, if you weren't going to get one of your targets, I will say this much. I don't think the club did stuff out of PR moves. I really don't believe that.
No, the PR move was Zubermendi.
Yes, 100%.
That was a PR move, and that was – I don't really care about the summer window when I'm thinking we can try to win something today, and you're already going, well, if I just throw off the scent a little bit, you won't – and it's like, you know what? No, I get it, but I don't like it because – you're playing games with me, and like, are you really seriously not going to try? Like, I'd rather hear a lot of like failed attempts at getting players in than don't worry about it in the summer, we'll be okay. I don't like that at all. As far as what you're trying to, what kind of information you're trying to give to the masses.
Yeah, and I don't think they just didn't try. I really think they gave it a shot. And I wonder if Watkins comes today, but didn't he leave injured on Sunday?
Supposedly he wasn't or whatever, so I don't know. So who knows? I mean, if he was injured, then that would have been a sign. Okay, maybe it's not going to happen here. You know what I mean? So we can't be taking players in that are injured. We already have problems when they're healthy coming in. So
and we'll find out if Watkins is missing significant time. Then we'll be like, look.
We'll also see how Villa does. Right, they brought in a lot of attacking answers. Or answers. We'll see if they the questions are the correct ones that they need to answer.
And that's a lot of personality they brought in there. Asensio and Rashford like that. I have a lot of people sit there and tell me they think Rashford is bad. I think Rashford would be really good with Emery.
Yeah. Well, I think Rashford. People are saying it's bad, but I kind of felt like Manchester United did him a little bit wrong as much as his form may have dipped. They're asking him to be a lead attacker, scorer for a team, and maybe he's not that, but he is a good player. Right, when you've had Ronaldo and stuff like that, you're asking him to kind of be at that level, and a Rooney maybe. You're like, nah, he's not that. We've seen that, right? He's not that. He can get you goals and stuff, but he's going to need support, right? So then to get upset that he's not that, for me, I think you're asking too much of your players sometimes. right?
Yeah.
So it's
No,
kind
and
of
this is the thing about these kids from these outside of the Premier League leagues, like Hoyland, for example. As how many goals does he have on this year? But I read somewhere that his touches, like he's one of the lowest for touches in the opponent box, and they paid almost 90 for him. I think it was. Well, I mean, that's I guess that's my point here is like, if we'd have got, uh, let's see, Georgis, we don't know if he's going to work in the Premier League, and I'm not sitting here defending the club. I legitimately, if you're going to go get a striker, go get me someone who's already in the English table right now, that's in the pyramid. Whether it's
but there's a talent ID, and so the same way you look at a Harland and you go, he's playing in a German league. I know it's a tougher league than the Portugal league, but you look at the talent level and you go, will it work for us here as well, right? And if the talent level is good, then that's what you go for, right?
yeah,
So, and I think from what I've seen, I believe the talent is there. Will he click right away? Will it? I don't. I think the way we play, if Kai Havertz can get into positions like he can, I think Agukaraz can as well. From what we've seen between the two players, I mean, so for me, I look at the player, look at the way they play, and I go, yeah, no, I think it could work for us as well. So why
yeah.
why not?
I just think if you were going to get immediate impact, I just don't know if Sesko and Georgis were going to be those guys.
Well, I think I'll take Gukares over Sesko if I'm talking
Uh-huh.
about immediate success. And yes, any striker in the league
Yeah.
would be better than what we got, which is nothing. You know what I mean? So you look at any first or second striker on any team, we could deal with one of them.
About Mateta.
Like
That's it.
anybody. I mean, Teta's so different from Kai Havertz. I just think that's where we needed to, like, when you're taking off Watkins, bringing on Duran, you're like, okay, so you're telling me we couldn't find a player, we couldn't even taken a risk on a player, so maybe they turn it into Duran? No, we didn't do any of that. Like, and like, Jesus is not that player anyway. So even if you said, well, we got Jesus to play
Yeah.
that position, no, you still don't have a striker. So how about this? How about you bring in a striker as opposed to bringing a player that can play center forward? They're not the same thing. It's like saying, you know what, we're bringing a player that's really good at the fullback position, but isn't really knocked down on one of them. All right. So he's a good to help you out, but in reality, what if you need somebody to legitimately start? This isn't a guy, and that's the problem for me. You need to bring in, I think, that player that, like, yes, will be the one that can win a position. So
I mean, I want Premier League proven. That's especially for that position. If I'm gonna pay a lot of money,
yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Moreno and how that's turned out, but that was 50, right, or whatever it was, and then Calafiore was about 40.
Yeah.
But for me, Premier League proven would have been the answer.
But and that's the thing. So if you're going to do that, we didn't even look at any Premier League players like to where we got turned down.
Yeah.
We just looked at Sesko and that's it. So for me, if Sesko is your man and that was the only option you really were going to press on, you have to close that deal. If you
I
give
think
yourself
Kuna.
you give
I know
yourself other
people.
options, then yeah.
I know some people said about Kuna. I still like the player.
Yeah, I think, like I said, any attack, any center forward in the league would have been good for us. If they're not going to start because they're not better than Kai Havertz, I get it. But if they are a striker and they play behind him, then at least you have a striker coming in.
Yeah, there's that. Because again, it's that's the complicated thing of this. I just didn't want him to overpay for somebody, but I also feel like
We overpaid
on the
for
flip
Fabio
side.
Vieira. We overpaid for someone
Well,
say
here's the other argument
Calafiori,
I have. Two arguments.
Moreno.
First one is like I didn't want him to overpay for a player, but at the same time, you have a perfect opportunity to win the Champions League and maybe win the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
Second part of the equation is Why didn't you bring in a guy like a Vieira back? And I know Vieira is considered a midfielder, but recall him from loan. You have him play the wing for you. It's just rotation basis, right? Like because we talk about quality and quantity. I'm talking from a quantity perspective. Like, you need to have people that, because you never know when Martinelli might go down, Trosser might go. You just don't know.
Well, that's it right there. That is the risk you take when you don't bring in a depth. Is that you're like now we're if Kai Havertz goes down and Martinelli has a and Sterling has an issue, right? You got nobody.
You'll have to change the tactics of how you play, and you'll have to run a 4-4-2, and you'll have to just sit there and you'll play probably Rice and I guess Partey in the middle with I don't know.
So, and for me that like when so if you go into weaken yourself with the depth, then that 4-4-2 probably is something you should already have planned and be able to implement.
Well, they
now.
played a little bit on Sunday
so
as well. So
yeah, so for me, but you just play it, right? If you're going to see out a game, like if you're going to play a team lower in the table, you don't press yourself and put all your attackers out there. You just save an attacker for maybe later in the game if you need to, and you go with that 4-4-2 kind of thing. Yeah, Sesko 21 is great for the Gunners, and he'll score 6'5", powerful, fast. Yeah, like I think both him and Erdegaard are really tall players, powerful. One's further ahead. Of course, I think he's 7 years older. Erdegaard. I'm sorry, Gyökeres. So, but I don't know. I think we're at the point where we really need an answer and not a question in the sense that will they get there as opposed to they're there now, so we just put them in and and hopefully get the results we want. Like for me, you go Timber doesn't come in from one of the top leagues, right? But the talent level's there. So then when he comes in, you're like, yeah. So for me, that's where the talent ID comes in, where they can identify the talent and go with that and say, yes, it's going to work for us.
Timber looked the part like the first minute because I saw his first game at the MLS All-Star game. And okay, it's just against the MLS, whatever.
No, but he looked good that entire summer. Wherever they put him, he was good.
Yeah,
I saw him up in New Jersey, and it's like this player. Yeah, no, that's what we want. All right, it's not his preferred position, but if that gets him on the pitch, so be it. You go with it.
Yeah, he had a good. He had a really good profile, like you said, and he just fit the part.
Yeah,
he fit in. It was very unfortunate we lost in that first game last year.
I think there was a warning sign there because I believe early in that late in that first half, he did reach like that.
Yeah,
and you're like, don't do it again, and he did it again early to start the second half, and then hurt himself. Not that it could have happened any time, but it was just one of those where as a defender, I always say if you're reaching, you're in trouble.
Yes.
If you're trying to you're trying to get your leg into a tackle. Now you need to be making a tackle. Totally different situation. He stuck his leg in there and got himself in trouble. All right, we are at 80 minutes, so I think it's just me and you, and we will just see this thing out. See, Gyökeres is scoring in the Portuguese league, but Nunes outscored him before he went to Liverpool, and that's not exactly worked out. I feel that Arsenal is better structured for any attacker to come in and play close because we said similar things about Kai Havertz. He's looked at his scoring at Chelsea, and we've seen that his numbers are way better than when he was at Chelsea. So I think Gyökeres' numbers would be better than Nunes at Arsenal, just because of the way that we play. And if he plays anywhere near to what we've seen him play, it'll be okay that's kind of how I see it. I think our structure is such that if you can do the defensive side of work, offensively if you get back in time, you'll be there for opportunities. So I kind of feel like we're not in. You will get the opportunity to score.
Yeah.
Everybody has gotten opportunities to score. If you look at that front line of ours, they all do. Either Trossard's putting in crosses for shots, or he's shooting. Martinelli's always got an opportunity in Weary. is always got an opportunity. Kai Harris is always in position to score. I mean, everybody gets a chance. Sterling, if he really could shoot, will get more opportunities to score. I mean, I think we get giving everybody a chance here. So you get your opportunities because of the way we play. I mean, that ball comes through the midfield. We set ourselves up pretty well. All right, I'll let you say your last words, I guess, before we get out of here. Anything you want to say?
Well, I mean, thanks for coming by tonight. It's kind of disappointing, but also it could be. Hey, look, we could be sitting here having a whole lot worse of a conversation tonight. I know that's it. That's hindsight. People don't like doing that, but I'm one of those guys that does that. We could be sitting here talking about not getting money in the transfer window and getting pumped by City, but we're not. So, I know it's not anything I say is not gonna make a difference. I think on some of this stuff, but just I really mean this, and if the club's not going to be serious about it, try not to take it too serious yourself, I guess. And I know I'm not giving the club a scapegoat, but if the club didn't want to bring in a striker, don't lose sleep over the fact we didn't bring one in. That's my only, because I know people I've seen the comment sections and people are on meltdown mode, and I get it. And I wanted to bring a player in too, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I really am not. And I hate saying this. I mean, and I think maybe you and I said something too, Gary. Like when they leaked the Zumbamendi news, I was like, well, I kind of let you know what they're thinking about right now. I'm thinking about the summer, and I'm so pissed off that I was right about that. I hate that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I hate it. I mean, because I listen. I always want if I have a negative opinion on this team, I want to end up being wrong and 100%.
Yep.
And that one just really sucked because it feels like, and it's not even the league for me. It's the Champions League and the fact in the cups. You were in both of those and looking really good in Champions League right now. That's where it hurts. But Nathan Butler, you're my only hope, Obi-Wan. That's what I'm. Hey man, do it. Go out there. Hey, look.
That would
Skelly's
be that would be for sure a surprise. All right.
Yeah. Dude, and listen, here's the thing about this too. Miles Lewis Skelly, he's made that position his. And where he's telling Arteta, hey, look, I'm here. Do it yourself too, man. When you get put out on that pitch, be seen, be known, get in behind the spine, make that run. You've got a guy out there right now as your 9 who knows how to make runs. If he's not watching how he plays this game, and a lot of people say, well, he doesn't finish well. Look at everything else Havertz does off and on the ball. If that kid can learn how to do that stuff, then maybe he finishes a little better. Who knows, right? Yep. I know I'm grasping at straws here, and I'll shut up. But sorry, but no, dude. I mean, I'm gonna remember Sunday for a while. That was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we pumped them. And make sure you stay humble, Holland, and enjoy.
No, for sure, Zanzi. You could be saying we bought who and for how much, for sure.
True,
for sure. But I kind of felt like Kirio was one of those type of players. We bought who for how much, and then I think for what they pay for him, they got something out of him. That's the thing that I always feel like we do. If we played him in the positions that are successful for them, like Nunez, Tabaj, I think we didn't play him in the right position, and we probably weren't going to play him in a role that suited him anyways. But he should. I mean, what has he got? He's leading. He's one of the leaders in Europe in assists, so obviously he can do that well. And if we talk about our fullbacks being offensively sound, then he would definitely be able to accommodate that. But yeah, no, I Wednesday, Arteta's going to have to go as strong as possible. I'd like to see Nweri be part of that strong as possible position, and then maybe bring on Trossard or Martinelli off the bench, maybe. Defensively, of course, we're going to be sound there. Hopefully you can go through 2 weeks of practice and be good, and maybe Ben White, I believe, will be closer to being on the bench for us at some point. I think if I was looking at the injury reports, and actually I think Ben White isn't even scheduled to come back until our next Premier League match, which is after our break. So that might make sense there. Tomiyasu is the same thing. He's not supposed to be back until the 15th. even though I don't even think he's been practicing with us. So
Yeah, I mean
um,
the game form for those guys.
yeah, yeah, it's about depth when Ben White comes back because he's been out for a bit. But Tomiyasu, I don't will take a little bit longer, I think, to get situated for us.
I almost feel like you could get away with transitioning Tomiyasu to a center back because I know he plays that for his country.
Yeah,
He's got the height for it.
yeah,
I just wonder, I've said this before, and I got nothing to prove this data, but I think the way the modern game is, it's very taxing on fullback position.
mm,
Uh, so some of these guys' bodies, I don't think are meant to play that position where they play center back, striker, midfield. Maybe it's the way we play. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. There's going to be it's going to be some reinforcements coming as far as the back line. But you said it earlier on Waffle TV show. I remember one thing you said. I know I didn't press a like or say anything on there. I was kind of busy, but you said I can't remember what you said, but you said we've got about 12 points we've dropped.
yep,
And we
yep.
just sit there and talk about this transfer, who came in and who didn't. But you can go back and look at that Brighton game, the Man City game.
The Chelsea game,
Yep, Chelsea game.
in the City game, the Liverpool game. Those are all games that we had
Yeah,
a chance to get that second goal to pull away or defensively be sound and not give up the goal. And that for me is some management, some on the players.
yeah.
Because I
Those are
think that
blatant ones.
yeah, yeah,
I think I said this to you guys. Like when Everton, you had that 0-0. Like those do happen. They just
yeah,
do. But
yeah.
when you're up and you find a way to blow it, that's when it's even worse. Like the Villa game has got to be more frustrating than the transfer window to
You
me.
take
You're
a
up
two,
2-0.
you take a 2 goal lead and you don't finish off with
Yeah.
the win. That's bad. I mean, we hold on to that lead and we're sitting 4 points off, and it looks totally different.
Yeah. And look, here's the thing. People are going to sit here and say the club didn't back Arteta and that's why we didn't win the league. But I'm with you, man. You've got to look back at those 12 points, like you said.
Yeah,
That's a bigger impact than not bringing in a player.
yeah,
Because we really don't know. Matthias Tal could go into Spurs and score 2 goals or maybe even barely even play. Like, we
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
And, it's kind of the shiny object mentality. I got to have something, going shopping and you have to buy something that, I mean, did Liverpool bring anybody in this window? They didn't.
yeah.
So I'm not saying that the not doing anything was the right move, but it's like Zanzi said, we could be saying we bought who and for how much.
Mm.
So I don't know. Like I said, none of us is going to make it right. None of us is going to make it feel any better. We all knew what the issue was. They didn't address it. I don't think they didn't try. I would not agree with that. But at the same time, we'll see how this plays out. Right? We'll see when we're sitting here in March or April, May, and wherever we are with the Champions League or the league itself. Maybe we've won the Carabao Cup. Maybe we found a way to win that, and all this is kind of for nothing. We'll see. But the club has kind of made the bed, and now they either have to lay in it or figure out a way to
Yep.
manage through it.
Yes. 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 That's all on right now. Well, and right now it's all on Arteta
Yep.
to
Damage
figure
control his
to
way
figure out
through.
how to manage to see his way through successful campaigns against whatever teams we play with whoever he's got. He's part, as he says, he's part of this thing. So he knows what he's got to do, and it's all on him now. So we can't be explaining about not getting players in the summer and not getting players in the winter. That's all on you. So, yep, 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 yep. Just like I said, we're gonna have to play this one game at a time. We'll see how it all plays out. Everybody, thank you again for joining us. If you haven't already, hit the like. If you haven't already, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll be back on the weekend. 3 p.m. I don't even think there's any games, so I don't even know what we'll be chatting about because I think, yeah, our Arsenal will be away on Dubai, but I think there actually will be football. Let's see, what is it? Saturday? Is it? Let's see.
The FA
Today's the
Cup, I believe,
third.
on Saturday.
Yeah. So
The
is
next
it?
round.
Is it FA Cup? Let's see. AFL Cup. Liverpool. Oh wait, that's got to be Thursday. Let's go 2 days up here. So on the weekend here, no games on Saturday, so we'll just be. Oh wait, there is FA Cup game. So Leeds plays at Millwall early in the morning, Also early in the morning, Leighton Orient and City, Coventry and Ipswich, Everton and Boyne and Bournemouth will be playing during our show. Preston and Wickham will be playing during our time. Southampton and Burnley also will be playing. Stoke and Cardiff, Wigan, Fulham, Birmingham and Newcastle, and Brighton and Chelsea will be the late game. So yeah, so there'll be some FA Cup matches going on that we can at least chat about. Arsenal hopefully is in Dubai getting prepped and ready for another big run. But everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy, have a good night, and we'll talk to you guys later.